Xabi Alonso hasn't managed a single competitive Chelsea game yet. The transfer window already looks like a soap opera finale. Marc Cucurella is a Real Madrid player. Andrey Santos is somehow a Manchester United player. Geovany Quenda has finally walked through the door. And Chelsea have just mugged Arsenal in broad daylight and made it official. New to Chelsea Deep Dive? Subscribe now because the transfer chaos is only just beginning. Every rumour, every negotiation, every last-minute twist, we'll cover it all until the window slams shut on September 1st. Signed, sealed and announced with full Chelsea flair. Morgan Rogers is officially a Blue. At £117 million, he eclipses Elliot Anderson as the most expensive British player in history. But the real headline? Arsenal lost out after leading the race, even with Declan Rice personally ringing Rogers to pitch life at the Emirates. Rogers' response? Joining Chelsea because they're the biggest club in London and offer him the chance to be free. Ouch. Geovany Quenda, 19 years old, around £43 million. Contract until 2034, which for context is longer than most marriages, several political careers, and possibly the Premier League's current TV deal. Chelsea agreed this one back in March 2025 and have just now let him actually arrive, which by Chelsea's usual delivery times counts as next day shipping. Lightning quick, fearless in 1v1s, comfortable on either wing. Unlike some of Chelsea's recent wonder kid experiments, Quenda looks genuinely ready to play now, which is somehow the most surprising part of this entire segment. Marco Palestra, the first official signing of the Xabi Alonso era. A versatile full-back from Atalanta, £47 million, can play either side and was voted Serie A's best defender last season. Chelsea looked at that stat line and thought, yes, we'll take some of whatever that is. This isn't patching holes, this is Chelsea trying to build an entire next generation, possibly because the current generation keeps getting poached by their own former manager's mates. Evangelista, another Brazilian teenager. At this point, Chelsea's scouting department clearly has two browser tabs permanently open. One for Brazilian academies, one for anywhere within driving distance of Sporting CP. And honestly, results speak for themselves, so who's complaining? He's also, delightfully, the cousin of Arsenal's Gabriel Magalhaes, meaning somewhere there's a family group chat about to become a war zone every North versus West London derby week. Harrison Bettoni, 18, free transfer from Wigan, already boasting 27 senior appearances despite being a teenager who could still plausibly get carded for an 18-rated film. Chelsea see him as a long-term project. Denner and Bettoni will both start with the under-21s before likely being loaned out, because apparently the pipeline now has a pipeline. Marc Cucurella is off to Real Madrid after 4 years of criticism, redemption arcs, and slowly making an entire fan base eat their words. Genuinely nobody saw that coming 2 summers ago. Then the big one. Andrey Santos to Manchester United for £50 million, all in, plus Chelsea keeping a 10% sell-on clause. So if Santos ever becomes brilliant at Old Trafford, Chelsea still get a cut, like a landlord who sold the house but kept collecting rent. Elsewhere, Tyreek George permanent to Everton for £20 to £24 million. Jimmy J Morgan to West Brom for about £4 million. And the annual academy migration continues on schedule. Jesse Derry to Sporting, Harrison Murray Campbell to Kortrijk, plus what feels like a dozen more kids being loaned to clubs that will require you to actually Google them, possibly twice. Now the part where nothing is confirmed but everyone's acting like it is. Pep Chavarría looks closest. Personal terms reportedly agreed for weeks. Alonso specifically asked for him by name. Multiple bids already in. Talks sitting around 20 to 25 million euros. This one has the energy of a couple who've already picked the wedding venue but haven't technically gotten engaged yet. Maxence Lacroix remains Chelsea's top centre-back target. Talks were flying before the World Cup. Valuation started around 55 million euros. And then Crystal Palace remembered Chelsea desperately need a centre-back. So shockingly, the price has gone up. Funny how that works. Good news, the player reportedly wants it. Expect movement once internationals wrap up. Granit Xhaka, the Alonso reunion tour. Xhaka wants it, Chelsea have made a move, and Sunderland keep saying no, with the conviction of a landlord ignoring a call about a broken boiler. Chelsea keep knocking. Sunderland keep pretending nobody's home. This saga isn't dead on, it's just extremely stubborn.
Alex Scott is pushing for a move to Chelsea, but Bournemouth aren't playing ball. The Blues had a £64 million bid rejected, with Bournemouth insisting their midfielder simply isn't for sale, and if he ever is, the price is £95 million. Yes, 95, not a typo. Scott wants Chelsea. Chelsea just don't want to pay Bournemouth's ransom note. So for now, the club are exploring other options. John Stones, his City contract just expired, and Chelsea are sniffing around like it's a garage sale. Experienced defender, barely used lately, will deliver instant winning mentality. Alonso wants him for depth and know-how, which is manager speak for someone who's actually lifted a trophy. Only snag, Arsenal and Inter are eyeing the same free buffet. And sure, Stone's injury record reads like a hospital discharge form, but he rocked up at the World Cup looking like prime Rio Ferdinand, and now Chelsea can't stop thinking about him.
Other names worth watching. Alejandro Garnacho, transfer listed, not training with Chelsea, asking price around €50 million. A man being publicly frozen out, with all the subtlety of a group chat left, on read. Trevoh Chalobah, wanted in Italy, Chelsea holding out for £30 million plus. And Enzo Fernández, who gets an Enzo is leaving headline every single window like clockwork. Except Alonso has reportedly said he wants to build the midfield around him. So barring a genuine earthquake, don't hold your breath. Jared Bowen, Chelsea linked, West Ham fans furious, Chelsea fans not even sure they want it. Reality, he just signed a new contract, so this is basically fan fiction with a byline. Bradley Barcola, and finally the free square on this bingo card. Every time Liverpool or Arsenal chase someone, Chelsea's name gets thrown in purely for engagement. Like a celebrity tagged in a post they have nothing to do with. Take this one with an entire container of salt.
Before you go, one question. Looking at everything Chelsea have done this summer, capped off with a British transfer record and a very public Arsenal snub, are we actually building a squad that can challenge for the title? Or are we just hoarding the best talent in England and hoping Xabi Alonso is secretly a wizard? Comment below and tell me which one it is. I read every single reply, mostly so I can argue back. Like the video, subscribe to Chelsea Deep Dive, and I'll catch you next time. Same chaos, different week.